is ready. It is game one, best of 7. The Sacramento Kings and the Seattle Supersonics are ready to go. And our Bud Light starting lineups look this way. For Sacramento fans, yes, Stojakovic is in the starting lineup up front tonight. He will go. Thomas and Skinner join him. Bibby and Mobley in the backcourt. Lewis is in the starting lineup for Seattle. Evans, James up front. Ridnour, the point guard. Ray Allen, the leading scorer. Ron Garretson is ready. He'll work this game alongside Jim Clark and Vinny Adams. And we are set to begin. So, Mr. Tolbert, here we go. Sacramento controls the tap, and what's the key to this game as far as you're concerned?
Well, first of all, I think it's going to be a fantastic series, as exciting as there is in the NBA. 6-3, both teams love to get up and down. They're both very good shooting teams. I think for Sacramento, you have to be able to defend the three. Seattle's second in the league in shooting three-pointers, making three-pointers per game. And if you're Sacramento, you better keep Evans, Collison, and Fortson off the offensive glass. Seattle, a tremendous offensive rebounding team.
Kenny Thomas missed the game's first shot. Stojakovic tossed up an air ball with his first effort since coming back from that pulled groin. Now we will see what the Supersonics come up with in their first set. Ridnour matched against Bibby. Bibby's rub jump shot misfires, and an offensive rebound by Evans, the leading rebounder. Seattle killed them on the offensive glass in 4 games this year. Won the regular season series, 3 victories to 1.
They are a tremendous offensive rebounding team. And I did say both teams are very good shooting, aren't they? The third rebounds already.
Right here, Tommy.
And
exactly.
You can't give offensive rebounds up at that rate. You make defensive stops. It's demoralizing when the other team keeps hitting the ball. This is a tough matchup. They're going to double team right away, not let Lewis get off of the ball.
Ridnour misses, and there's 4. James back 5 with the 5th chance on that set. Seattle moves ahead as James puts it back on their 5th try, and you can see the importance of game 1 in a 7-game series.
Man, when they held the ball for a whole minute, a minute and 5 offensive rebounds, finally getting the bucket. Nice defense by Ray Allen.
James rebounds Mobley's miss, and it's 1 and out. Rick Adelman must be very concerned with the lack of rebounding muscle right now. A huge difference here in the early going of this game. And Garretson with the first call down away from the ball. We've got our first personal, and it's against Peja. Nate McMillan, his 5th season, only the 2nd time he's been in the playoffs. He lost in the first round, 3-2 to San Antonio a couple of years back. Rick Adelman in his 7th year at Sacramento, and he has not missed the playoffs yet, but he has not taken the Kings to the finals yet either. James, double team, turn around, and shot clock violation did not hit the iron. 5 straight years, Adelman has won 50 or more games with Sacramento. And very concerned about what he's going to see here in the opening of this series. He said, I really don't know what to expect. But right now, he knows he faces a huge rebounding deficit, down 6-1 in the early going. And the whistle's even up, foul on Seattle at the other end. So Garretson with both calls. That's an illegal defense. That's a 3-second violation. So Peja will come to the line, and he'll shoot the technical free throw.
That's almost like giving a point to the Sacramento Kings when you commit a 3-second illegal defense, because Peja Stojakovic, one of the best free throw shooters in the game. Sacramento, the one big advantage they have is the experience of Mike Bibby over the inexperience of Luke Ridnour. Luke Ridnour took over the team this year, and that was one of the things Coach McMillan said. To get this team where we need to be during the last offseason, Luke Ridnour has to be our point guard. He can push it, he can take over, but Bibby, one of the best in the game.
There was Bibby blowing by, but James blocked it with his left hand. Evans with the defensive rebound. Ridnour brings it down for the Sonics. Seattle with the game's only field goal, and make it 2 is Rashard Lewis. The pull-up jump shot, fighting tendonitis in the left knee, puts the Sonics up by 3.
You saw Mobley got stuck on him that time, and he's just too big and shoots right over him.
Thomas misfiring, and the Kings are still without a field goal. Adelman barking. The Kings 0 for 6 from the field against the Sonics. Lewis fires, and he's hit his last 2.
Well, you see, they are not going to let Richard Lewis go one-on-one down on that left block. He's their small forward, but he is their best option on the block. And you can see right here, Mobley guarding him, just rises up right over him, too tall for him at 6'9", 6'10". When he gets the ball on the left block, they're coming as the ball is in the air. They don't want to let him have that opportunity. They forced him into a fadeaway jump shot. Still good enough to make it.
Before the pass over to Bibby, waved that shot off. There was a whistle away from the ball, and the foul is called, and it is the first one on Lewis. 6-1, Seattle with an early lead. The Sonics a slight favorite by 3 or 3+ in this game, even though the series is rated even, 3-6. Most experts thought that Seattle might be vulnerable coming in. Bibby, the tap, twice the tap, no, and Skinner stays with it, blocked by James again. His second block of the game so far. Ridnour puts it down.
Well, that's one thing Ridnour does very well. He gets out in the open court, explores the defense, and nothing there, presence of mind to pull it out.
Ray Allen drains the three, and it's 9-1. Adelman needs a timeout, but he's not. He's going to do the Phil Jackson. He's going to let him play through it. A horrendous start for the Kings in the early going. 4 minutes in, they're without a field goal. Bibby, and it is waved off. And now the timeout is called with 13 on the shot clock. And Adelman is not happy with the officiating right now. His team from the field is 0 for 9. And he wants some whistles in his favor. Timeout.
Playoffs brought to you by Nissan, who invites you to shift your ride. Dockers. Bud Light. Fresh, smooth, real. It's all here. And Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, scooters, ATVs, and personal watercraft.
Safeco Field nearby, and the Mariners and the Indians are scoreless in the 7th inning. Tom Tolbert, it's a rather low-scoring night here as the Kings are searching for their first field goal. But that rebounding thing that you talked about, that's been huge.
Oh, they're killing them. I mean, Seattle wasn't the best team in the league in raw rebounding numbers, but by percentages, on shots missed, they gathered the most offensive rebounds. Today, there's been 5 shots missed. They've got 80% of those shots back. 4 offensive rebounds and 5 missed shots. They can't keep doing that. I mean, Sacramento can't keep doing that. And then Jerome James has been awesome. You look at the rebounding last season, -3.5. This season, 3. Reggie Evans, a huge part of that. Nick Collison didn't play last year. Danny Fortson's here this year.
Still without a field goal. Ray Allen puts it down for the Sonics. Lead pass underneath, and James is blocked as Skinner gets back defensively. Bibby on the move, gets in to Stojakovic. Their first field goal of the playoffs. It's 9-3, 7:40 to go in the first.
That's a tough one not to convert. If you're a big 7-1 guy, beautiful job of running the court, you get down there, and they just take it up, not as strong as maybe you would like, and Skinner gets a swipe away.
James bumping, and Skinner knocks it away.
They're not going to double there. They're going to let him try to prove that he can score down on that block.
5 on the shot. Double Allen. Tough shot off the iron. James goes for the offensive rebound. Stojakovic has got it. Missing Brad Miller, who may see a few minutes here tonight. And Adelman really needs Miller at that 5 in this series. You can see that in the early going. And Skinner powers in with an offensive rebound.
Well, if they're going to try to guard Kenny Thomas with Jerome James, he's either going to take that 15-foot jump shot or do what he did, drive by him. Then you get the other power forward that has to come over and help, and that's why Brian Skinner's open for an offensive rebound.
Stojakovic with his hands full defensively against Lewis Allen. Goes right around Coutinho Mobley.
And just used Coutinho Mobley's momentum against him. He was trying to catch up with him, and as soon as he caught it, he spun.
Mobley's left-handed shot is short, and James, who has not picked up a personal foul yet in this game, and that is huge for him. More fouls than any player in the NBA.
Good
and we've got a foul going against Sacramento. Evans was floored by this one.
Well, watch this. Watch Coutinho trying to catch up. And Ray knows he's trying to catch up. He just runs right by him. I mean, that was an unbelievable move to go to the baseline.
Watch Thomas as Evans goes
Somebody
flying.
put a cape on that man.
And Thomas picks up his first of the game. It's 11-5, Seattle leading. This is game 1 of the 3-6 series out west.
I think Skinner was watching too much of the NFL draft today.
Jump hook by James. And the big fella from Florida A&M off to a strong start. 4 points and 5 rebounds for Mr. James. Skinner puts it down on him on the drive, but his second field goal.
Yeah, they're going to be able to exploit that. Jerome James having to come out and guard at the elbow. Both Skinner and Kenny Thomas very capable of putting the ball on the ground and getting to the rim.
They go back inside to James. He's the early story here as far as Seattle is concerned. Jerome James, 7'1", almost 300 pounds. Mobley tries to get to the rim and uses the glass.
Well, not only has Jerome James scored a couple inside, but he's also blocked some shots, 3 rebounds, I believe 5. I mean, he has done a lot of good things for them offensively and defensively so far.
Lewis drains the 2, but the crowd is cheering the fact that Vladimir Radmanovic, who's been out with a broken leg, is up and will be checking in for the Sonics here soon. And folks, you won't believe his playoff hairdo when he checks in. Off the iron for Stojakovic, who's still a little rusty. Evans puts it down.
Look out.
Here's Rashard Lewis. Gets inside of Stojakovic. Draws, and it's offensive foul. So, folks, here he comes. Is this the hairdo of the playoffs or what?
You know, I think he went to Venus and Serena's beauty salon today.
He's had too much time off. Way too much time away from the game. Mr. Schultz, the owner, is up applauding his arrival into the game. The second foul against Lewis. Stojakovic will try the 3 in front of his coach, and maybe that will untrack him. The lead is 5 for Seattle. Nick Collison now up for Seattle. He'll be checking in at the next opportunity. Evans is blocked by Skinner. His second block comes back. Blocked now by Thomas. Battle underneath, out of bounds, and it's Seattle basketball. And look who is up. Brad Miller checking in. Now, Adelman told us that he would monitor the minutes that Miller plays very carefully. You will notice over the once broken left leg, there is a bit of a protective brace. Brad jokingly said, just in case one of those fellows tries to kick me, I'm wearing it. So we won't know how effective he's going to be. He'll take Evans. Allen up firing.
Bobby Jackson also in the game along with Brad Miller.
Collison taps it in. His arrival off the bench produces a field goal. So we're testing a lot of different players. Jackson turns it over. Here's Radmanovic. Bounce pass. They've got numbers. Evans couldn't power it in, but he's fouled and on the free throw line.
You got to reward the big fellas when they run the court right here. Just, back iron just missed. Earned himself a trip to the free throw line for a couple. The reason Radmanovic is so important for this team is because he gives him another guy that can stretch the defense. And against certain lineups, he can play not only the 3, but can play the 4. When he plays the 4, you don't have a lot of power forwards in this league that want to get out there and guard him. And they struggle towards the end of the season without Radmanovic.
Radmanovic, one of the better 6 men off the bench.
Look at the rebounds here. And what's so important about this number right here, 9.3 rebounds, he did it in 23 minutes. 23 minutes. I mean, great rebounders get your rebound about every 3 minutes. This guy gets your rebound about every 2.5 minutes. He is a tremendous rebounder, tireless worker.
Now, one of the problems that creates is he leaves his man to go for a rebound, and frequently you can score against him. Tapped by Brad Miller, who was down defending Evans, and a good offensive rebound as Stojakovic misses that 3 into Nick Collison's hands. But Brad Miller has been a factor in the early going. It's a question of how many minutes, and Daniels takes it to him.
Coach Adelman said he'd probably bring him in right about this mark, the 4-minute mark of the first quarter. He'd go to the end of the quarter. That's about it.
Loose ball. Bibby tracks it down. He's been rather quiet so far. Jackson feeds Miller. Collison, can he hold up? Miller backs him into the paint and scores. That's a tough job for Nick Collison to try and hold up against the bigger Brad Miller.
Well, I asked Brad, I go, how's the leg? He said, it's great. I said, how are the lungs? He said, probably one step ahead of yours. I go, that's not great.
Back to Evans. Wanted Collison underneath. Sungila there. Bibby couldn't get a hand on it. Daniels steps in, fires the jump shot. And there's Evans off with another offensive rebound. The three missed fires. Sacramento controls. 22-14. Sonics up early. Back to Stojakovic, who moves the corner. Here's Bobby Jackson, three. Battle for the rebound. Jackson retrieves the long rebound. And here's Stojakovic on the drive. And one. And we've got a timeout. There is the famous fish market here. Man, you can get some great salmon down there and ship it home, let me tell you.
Shaquille O'Neal is whether or not he is completely ready to come back out west. As you see, TNT gets a couple of games, and right now, of course, it's the Kings leading the Sonics 22-16. Brent, back to you.
All right, John, thank you. And a reminder to our fans to tune in directly after the game for the live post-game press conference, start to finish, only on NBA TV. So the Kings are shooting 30% for the game. They started 0 for 10, and they have picked it up. They've hit 7 of their last 13. Meanwhile, Seattle shooting 47.6%. Bibby has been very quiet here in the early going. He's 0 for 4 from the field. Remember, my partner, Mr. T over here, said that was the one advantage that everyone felt the Kings had. So we would expect Bibby to pick it up offensively soon, as Stojakovic will attempt to complete the old-fashioned three-point play, and he does.
Well, as good as Seattle has been on the offensive glass, they've been just about that poor defending their own defensive glass. Sacramento actually has 7 offensive rebounds now to Seattle's 6. They've got them by 1 on the offensive glass. If you're Sacramento right now, you think you're getting blown out. You're only down 5 points, or now 8 points. Thank you, Real. So you always got to get those out quick, because it always changes.
Now, Tommy, let me feature this one. There's Sungila. And Bobby Jackson gives it back to him.
Nice
Sungila's going to power in.
Well, like Jamel Holloway, the old option quarterback.
Give it right back.
Counter.
Little counter, baby. One step and going. The Collison against the bigger Brad Miller. Good offensive move by Nick. Missed all of last season because of an injury, so technically an NBA rookie this year, and coming on strong for the Sonics. Sungila's 2 missed fires, and there's Radmanovic. Danny Fortson, who has played some good games against Sacramento this year, is on the floor. Daniels, Allen, Radmanovic. Daniels to the rim, and he is fouled. He will shoot a pair of free throws as Brad Miller fouled him.
Well, if you're the big guy, you have to slide over a little bit more and make sure that Antonio Daniels can't go directly from the screen to the rim. You got to make him bow out a little bit so your guard has a chance to get back and help. That time there was no show, and it was off the screen to the rim, draw the foul.
That's the second foul on Brad Miller. And again, as we told you, Rick Adelman telling us before the game he was going to carefully monitor Brad's minutes. But a lot of coaches say that to you, and about 30 minutes later after the game, well, he looked okay to me, so I just left him in there.
You know how that works.
Oh, yeah,
you want to win every one you coach.
That's right. Daniels, free throw line. It's a 10-point lead. For 2 of the 3 earlier games, the favorites came through as expected. Detroit over Philly, 106-85. John told you about Boston, 102-82 over Indiana. But Houston upsetting Dallas, 98-86 today, as Stojakovic drains his second 3-point field goal of the game, and now it is down to 7, and for Stojakovic, a dozen here in the early going.
Well, if you're Radmanovic, you don't want to leave Peja Stojakovic. I mean, you take your chances with Brad Miller going one-on-one with Danny Fortson. No reason to go down there and try to help and leave one of the best three-point shooters in the game wide open in the corner.
Let's see, Tom, all first day, and I have to say that all I saw in the Detroit-Philly game, highlights on ESPN a little bit later, but certainly Rasheed Wallace looked powerful in that game. No question about Tracy McGrady, his performance for Houston. Mike James would be one of our bench warmers here today. He stepped it up for Jeff Van Gundy big time. And, of course, in the Boston game, hard to believe that Pierce would struggle from the field and they would outscore Indiana 39-11 in the second quarter. What an impressive quarter for the Celtics in that game. And that reverses the embarrassment that Mark Jones told you about a year ago. Bill Raftery and I, we sat through that in Boston. We yearned to be where you were last year, my friend. Any place but the Boston Garden. I mean,
and those were over quick.
Oh, were they?
You know, like
5 minutes in.
Like 27-6. Done with.
He kicks to the corner. Jackson misfiring, and underneath we've got a foul, and it goes against Seattle. It's a loose ball foul. Danny Fortson, he's a fouling machine too sometimes, and he picks up his first.
He's not afraid to get 6 now.
No,
he's not afraid to approach the number 6. You see the Kings shooting 35%. Sonics a little over 50. Like I say, you're down 8. You get the last shot of the quarter. I don't think Coach Adelman's going to be too unhappy, because this is a quarter. If you just watched and didn't know the score, they could have been down 15.
Gibby with a long three is short, and that ends the first quarter. Seattle takes an early lead. It's game 1. You have to win 4 times to advance. 30-22 at the end of one quarter. Wonders how come it's Alex Smith. What happened, Tommy?
Boy, I got the cheeses mixed up. You know, the Bay Area known for their cheese as well as green. So I just got it mixed up. I got the wrong cheese. What happened?
All right.
I wonder if Aaron Rodgers is going to continue to wear his Joe Montana jersey underneath his jersey.
Did you see how sad that the Seahawks jersey fellow looked over there? That's because he wanted somebody other than a center.
No one wants a center.
But
they want him.
Ray Allen now with 13 points heating up. But let me tell that young man that the center of the Seahawks drafted today, hey, look who's here, Lenny Wilkins. Won a championship back in 1979 here. Beat Dick Motta's then Washington Bullets. And Lenny, ousted earlier as coach of the New York Knicks, had a time to chat with him over there. There he is, a great point guard out of Boys High in Brooklyn. He was the Western Conference champions 2 years in a row, but that year he went on to capture the championship. And one of his great players, Jack Sikma, is an assistant over on Nate McMillan's bench right now. He was the center on that title team. Corliss Williamson with a miss. No one wants a center. As we
no one knows any centers. They're excited about a center.
Chris Spencer says, shame on you. You should have known me from my days at Ole Miss. Snapping to Eli. It goes to Daniels.
Nice.
Collison.
That is when they're at their best. Twice. Take it to the middle, pitch out. Defense is scrambled. Take it to the middle again. Collapse the defense. Collison hiding on the baseline. Gets an easy stuff.
Kenny Thomas puts it down on Collison, who stuck right with him defensively. Tap back, no. Corliss couldn't handle it. Here's Daniels.
Kenny Thomas can't buy a bucket. 0 for 5.
Over the top. Ridnour's 3. No. Lots of air with that one. Ball out of bounds. Sacramento's.
When we talk about getting to the paint and being aggressive, this is what we're talking about. Get to the paint. Williamson has to come over and help to stop the drive. That leaves Nick Collison wide open for an easy jam. I mean, even if you're going to shoot threes, you want to try to at least attack the paint first and then kick it out.
Seattle with its biggest lead of the game, a dozen, and Songaila reduces it to 10.
That's the only reason they're staying in the game, because their work on the offensive glass.
They have 8 offensive rebounds since the beginning of this game. And note that Jerome James has been out. And that has allowed, boy, we've got some ugly shooting going on down here. What's happened all of a sudden? Picked up by Jackson on the move. They'll try to get it back to single digits. He'll take it to the rim. Ball out of bounds, but it belongs to the Kings with 19 on that shot clock for Nate McMillan. Nate McMillan has spent his entire professional life here in Seattle. Played a dozen years with the Sonics. He was an assistant 1 year and a head coach 5 years. And he sends Rashard Lewis back into the game.
Well, that was risky, second year point guard that he just said had to take over this team, and that was the big thing for him was this year.
Jackson wanted a foul, and here is Nate. He grew up in Raleigh, and he had been recruited by Jim Valvano, but he was still in high school the night that Jimmy V won the championship in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He told me he still remembers as a little boy watching that dramatic game, and then of course he joined the Wolfpack the following season, but his entire career has been spent right here in Seattle, and he's one of the fine gentlemen in the NBA. You could not be happier for anybody in the improvement he showed this year. 37 and 45 a year ago, 52 and 30 this year, and winners of the Northwest Division. And no one saw that coming. They would all, if they tell you that, you say you're a liar. Everybody thought Minnesota would get back.
Well, everybody thought they would fold after the first month of the season.
After the first game, remember that, Tommy?
First game, didn't they get crushed by the Clippers? I believe it was, yeah.
30 points they lost on opening night to the Clippers.
I tell you what was most impressive about them is they just kept winning on the road. Just kept winning on the road. Kept winning on the road. And that's when I said, if you can win on the road, you're in it for the long haul. And they had some injury problems down the stretch and didn't play quite as well. But, you're seeing right now with the first 15 minutes of this game why this team won the Northwest.
Back to Lewis from Ridnour. James is on the floor. The three ball. Man, he looked like Tracy McGrady on that shot.
He has been so consistent this year. That's why he's an all-star. He has not only elevated his game, but he does it night in and night out.
Corliss Williamson scored, and Gerritsen with a foul inside away from the shooter. And count the basket. It's going to count against Nate. And
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Kia Motors and the all-new Sportune Spectra 5. And thank you from Citi.
We welcome you back to Seattle. That looks good, huh? Here it is, 37-26 on our NBA calendar. And a reminder that on ABC tomorrow, New Jersey, surprising New Jersey, taking on the Heat. The big question there, Shaquille O'Neal, how healthy is it? How many minutes can he play? 3 Eastern. Then the triple bill on TNT, Wizards, Bulls, Nuggets, Spurs, Grizzlies, Suns. They will come back on Monday with a double dip. And it'll be game 2, Pacers, Celtics, game 2, Rockets, Mavericks. And the Heat especially on the Mavericks because they are at home. And a story developing in this game as we watch Sacramento with Thomas on the free throw line is Rashard Lewis. Perfect from the field, but he's sitting because he had just picked up his 3rd foul. That's in only 8 minutes, folks. He's 4 for 4 from the field. A pair of assists off to a strong start, but forced to watch because of 3 personal fouls. And this is going against the offense. We can check in on the playoff experience of the Sonics, and for Ray Allen, who's had 26 games, it's been 4 years since his last postseason game. Tommy, you want to make a point about Daniels?
Well, Daniels, won a championship with the San Antonio Spurs, so he knows what it's like not only to be in the playoffs, but go all the way through the playoffs and win a championship. Now, it's been a while, but after about the first game or two, you settle in, the butterflies go away a little bit. Kenny Thomas, maybe that free throw gets him on track. And it doesn't look like early on in this game, certainly, they have any jitters whatsoever.
Daniels up firing. That's what he did for San Antonio in that title surge. He's able to nail shots from the perimeter. It's 39-29. Margin is 10 with 8 minutes remaining. The Sonics once had been up by 13. Thomas on the attack, and he is fouled.
I'll tell you what, we don't talk a lot about Antonio Daniels. We talk about Ray Allen and Rashard Lewis and Vladimir Radmanovic coming back. But Antonio Daniels, you see Luke Ridnour going off, plays both guard positions. He was playing the off guard when Luke was in there. Now he's playing the point guard. Very tough defensively, can get to the rim, and can also hit the outside shot. Now, he's not going to get you 30, 35 points, but he's pretty consistently between 10 and 15, makes smart decisions, and maybe one of the better perimeter defenders on this team.
Tom, I mentioned Ray Allen. 4 years since his last postseason game. That last postseason game for Ray Allen, who's back on the floor, was a Game 7 loss to Philadelphia in the Eastern Conference Finals. He was 1 win away. George Karl was his coach at Milwaukee, and they were beaten by the 76ers in Philly. And 76ers went on to lose in the NBA Finals to the Los Angeles Lakers. So Allen handling the ball, brings it down. It's now a 9-point margin. He's working in the backcourt with Daniels. Wilkins, seeing his first playing time. He's been a good fill-in and made the postseason roster. James with a sort of an ugly move that time. Jackson puts it down, attacks, spins, loses it. Daniels comes away, and Sangaila, that could be a breakaway. That could be a breakaway foul. The Seattle bench wants it. That looked to me like a clear breakaway with numbers. See if he didn't clothesline him.
Oh, he did clothesline him, there's no question. I mean, he just flat out grabbed him. It's like that play in that movie, The Longest Yard. You're getting up the middle, watch this. Up the middle.
Yeah, they've made it a flagrant one.
Yeah.
He's celebrating draft day, too. He looked like a little bit like a linebacker taking down a running back on that, didn't he? And Antonio Daniels will see if he can make him pay. I think that was a good call, and the officials huddled.
Yeah.
Jim Clark and Benny Adams got together to make sure. Certainly, at first look, it looked like that. And then when you saw the replay of that closing,
I think it was the fall too. I mean, I don't think Derrick's a guy that didn't intentionally mean to hurt him. And
no,
I don't think it was vicious. He just was trying to stop him from getting an easy breakaway layup. And they very easily could have called that just intentional out of bounds and giving him the free throw and take the ball out of bounds without making it a flagrant foul. I don't know. I mean, that was borderline flagrant. I don't think it was dirty.
Ray Allen breaks free and was checked underneath by Thomas. Threw it up left-handed. And it's Sacramento basketball. Down by 11 now. Mobley, Stojakovic is back. Williamson still on the floor. Thomas and Bibby. Bibby's been very quiet. Williams misfiring. There's Kenny Thomas, and coming over the back. Commits the personal foul, his second.
They need to find a way to get Tino Mobley going. He just hasn't been involved in the offense. He's only shooting 1 for 5. He 1 for 5. Mike Bibby hasn't made a bucket. Kenny Thomas has made 1 bucket. So they got a lot of guys who have numbers bear out throughout the course of the game. You wouldn't imagine all 3 of those guys keep shooting a rancid percentage.
There is a lot of depth on this Sonic team. And with Radmanovic coming back tonight, it's getting healthy. That could make them dangerous in this series. Wilkins 3, no, a bad miss off to the right. And when they miss, they don't come close, man. I'm telling you.
I mean, either they are making it or they're just smashing balls into the side of the backboard. And that was one where, Wilkins got the shot up because the shot clock was running down, but hit the Ridnour air ball and somebody else cracked one against the backboard. You know what, though, Brent? A miss is a miss. You don't get 2 misses on bricks, just 1.
And Bibby.
That wasn't pretty either.
Now 0 for 6. And the Kings desperately need Bibby's firepower in this game. Daniels tried to slip it to Collison, and it was knocked by the Kings into the backboard, so no violation. But the shot clock winding down. Daniels to James.
Corliss Williamson did a real nice job of stretching that play out. Somebody has to cut in front of the big man. You just can't let him roll right down unimpeded.
Stojakovic, short. Thomas digs it out. Steal by Allen. Anticipated the Thomas pass. Sonics rolling, their biggest lead, 45-30. Adelman needs a timeout. It's a 6-0 Sonic run, and watch him take it to the rim. First it is James. Then Allen steal. We're live, John, and Ray Allen doing his bit for Seattle tonight. They lead it by 15, and there were some performances today that were not counted upon. Tayshaun Prince, 23 points and 7 rebounds. How about Mike James off the Houston bench with 6, and Rafe LaFrance making Danny Ainge look good. Remember, he did not play last year.
That guy is not an X factor. He's just a factor. I mean, 23 and 7 does not surprise me. He's had games like that this year. 3rd on the team in scoring. He has really come into his own, and that surprises me.
Allen gives it back, and Daniels will have to dribble it back on the outside. He was not open, nor was Ray, as the Kings rotated back defensively.
Well, smart move by both of them. Get a steal. Don't have to force something in the open court.
Stolen.
Maybe they should have shot it earlier.
Now Bibby trying to get to the rim on Allen. He's fouled by Ray, and he'll shoot a pair.
Well, I think Nick Collison that past time probably would have been better off just shooting the ball. And then Mike Bibby gets in transition, just trying to get himself. And sometimes just getting to the free throw line can get your game going. Getting a layup or getting to the free throw line, make a couple free throws, you start feeling a little bit better about yourself. We'll see in the last 5-10 of this quarter, after Bibby gets to the free throw line, if he can start to get his offensive game going in the latter parts of the second quarter here.
That's his first point of the evening. He's missed 6 from the field, including 2 3-point attempts.
So he's got 1 more point than you.
And now he just still has 1 more than I do. I was all set to say now it's 2, but he let me down. Short on the shot, but Thomas digs it out with an offensive rebound. The jump hook good.
They are doing a great job on the offensive glass. I mean, a great job. 11th offensive rebound of the half.
More offensive rebounds than the Sonics, and who would have thought that after the first play in which the Sonics had 4 on their first set. And Collison fouling Thomas. Hold on a minute. It's on Mobley. Down away from the ball. Mobley kind of looking around. And what did I do? Thomas thought that he was fouled by Collison as he came away with the ball, but it is on Mobley. So the foul was away from the ball as Thomas reached for it. It's 45-33. Seattle with the lead. 4:41 to go.
Speaking of offensive rebounds, Reggie Evans checking in for Nick Collison.
And shooting a pair will be Allen.
When he starts making jump shots, you just have to close out so quickly on him and be close to him. It gives him a chance to catch and immediately put that ball on the ground. And this is he's a very good free throw shooter. This is a very good free throw shooting team. 3rd in the league at 79%. But Ray Allen this year from the free throw line, 88%.
Ray, a free agent this year. Of course, he has been offered a large contract by Seattle. They still hope to keep him, but he will search for the maximum payday. And coming out of Connecticut, you would think that some of the teams in the East, if they can afford it, would take a shot at Ray. We'll have to see how that unfolds. He's not unhappy here in Seattle. Here he is from the corner, getting past Mobley, getting up to Evans, who comes to the glass.
Same thing as he did last time on the baseline. Catches it, goes immediately to the baseline. This time big guy has to come help him just get off.
Divvy's again missing, and Thomas lost the handle, and then he fouled Daniels, I think, out of frustration. Reaching over, it looked like he had a clear path back from an offensive rebound, but it got away from him. That's foul number 3 on Kenny Thomas. Well, a reminder that Sunday the NBA playoffs continue on ABC as Jason Kidd, Vince Carter, and the surging Nets face the questionable one, Shaquille O'Neal, Dwayne Wade, and the Miami Heat. The NBA playoffs at 3 Eastern on ABC, home of the NBA Finals. Bibby's still looking for his stroke. He's 0 for 8 from the field. Antonio Daniels has been a strong performer in the backcourt for Nate McMillan here tonight. And it's 51-33 as the Sonics build the big lead. 10 points for Antonio Daniels off Nate McMillan's bench.
Well, we talked about the inexperience of Luke Ridnour. He played pretty well, didn't shoot well in the first part of the game, but no turnovers, 3 assists. Tino Mobley, we see they need one of those guys, Kenny Thomas or Mike Bibby, to get going along with Tino Mobley, but you have a guy like Antonio Daniels. You have that security blanket as a backup point guard, combo guard that can come in and run the show for you.
Allen misses the 3. Stojakovic has it knocked away, but the Sonics hit it last. Well, you know, down the stretch, the Sonics were 3 and 8, I believe, and the conventional wisdom was, oh, get Seattle, get to the 6th spot in the West. Watching here tonight, you would be tempted to say, be careful what you wish for, but it is best of 7, and this is only game 1 as Mobley pulls up the jump shot.
Well, I think there are a lot of reasons for that, too. I think Antonio Daniels missed a game or 2. Fordson was injured. Rashard Lewis was injured. We know Radmanovich just came back tonight. So, you know, they had a lot of problems with injuries the last few weeks of the season.
Daniels' 3 ball off to the left into Evans' hands.
The man just finds the ball. He finds the ball. He's a pursuer of rebounds. He does not stop pursuing the rebound until either he has it or somebody has it.
On a pick and roll, James was open, but they elect to go in low, and Evans is blocked by Skinner. Evans dribbles it away with 2 on the shot, puts it off the iron into Bibby's hands. That would have been an amazing hoop right there. And Mobley misfire, run down by Skinner, and the Sacramento Kings continue to pick up offensive rebounds, but they have not put a lot back for second chance points. They're not taking advantage of the opportunities, and Bibby still ice cold from the field. With 2 minutes to go, kick to Stojakovic. The 3 is good. That's 15 for Peja. And a timeout called by McMillan and the Sonics. They lead it by 11 on a 7-0 run. Wow. Tommy T, are you hungry?
Yummy.
A little stir fry.
Got some soy sauce to go with that.
Send that down here to Mr. T at courtside.
And we'll see you then. Back to Brett and Tom.
All right, John, we look forward to hearing from you and the gang. And here it is 51-40, an 11-point lead. And Tommy, give us the Ray Allen story here.
Oh, this guy's just premium offensive player in the league. The guy can shoot it. And he's look at the form. And the release, you have to be up on him. Spin move baseline. Whoop. Thank you for that. And then throwing in a couple steals. Say, yeah, I can play a little defense too. You can take it easy. Don't pull anything. Little dunk. 17 points in the first half. Couple steals, 4 rebounds. Having an excellent half.
Outscoring Mike Bibby 17-1. Bibby 0 for 9. And this is 41st career playoff game. A first half to forget for him.
Whoa, look at
James not called for traveling, and Evans digs another one out.
You almost have to face guard him. Just block him, realizing that you're not going to get the offensive rebound, but he's not going to get the offensive rebound. Or should I say, you're not going to get the defensive rebound.
6 on the shot. Allen fouled in the corner. So the savvy veteran taking it into the corner and then drawing the foul. Ray Allen comes to the free throw line. Mike Bibby, of course, he'll keep coming, and that number destined to get a lot better before this night is over. One of the best point guards in the NBA, and many of them, and some are probably watching, have had starts like this, and been able to recover before it is over.
I just wanted to be that good where I could start off 0 for 9 and stay in the game. Usually if I was 0 for 9, it was over the course of 2 games. I didn't get a chance to take 9 shots. But you got to figure, like I said, numbers usually bear out. And this is the one guy who's been shooting the lights out for Sacramento. Couldn't get it done there. But 0 for 9, you have to figure he's going to start making shots sooner or later.
He went 0 for 2 that time, Stojakovic.
They're just not in sync offensively. You don't see the movement. You don't see the cutting. And guys that normally are marksmen are not making shots.
Allen misfiring. And listening to Rick Adelman, we are not surprised. He said he just didn't know what he would see with this team here tonight. And what he has seen is not pleasing him, believe me. It's 53-40. He's down by 13. Jerome James with a pair of free throws. And coming up at the half, we're going to go back now for the Toyota halftime show. John and the gang. The Pistons rolling 106-85, but down in Texas, the 5 seed upsets the 4. Houston and Jeff Van Gundy 98-86. And the Celtics breeze. They go home on a 39-11. Second quarter. I mean, Red Auerbach was lighting up that cigar up in the stands before the intermission, folks. That's how one-sided that was. Here we got a foul, and goes against Sacramento. It's against Skinner, as Brian Skinner picks up his second here in the first half. Rashard Lewis, 3 fouls now. Well, he did come back in, and that, of course, at the offensive end only here. Well, not last shot. You can see it's offset. Adelman will take a 20. So we'll take a quick break. Seattle is up by 14. His allegiance to the Western Conference and the Sonics enjoying the action. It's amazing how many NFL players and Major League Baseball players come around the NBA playoffs. It's like a magnet. And professional golfers, they love to watch the playoffs.
Now, we mentioned they're going to hold for 1 shot here. Rashard Lewis in the game with 3 fouls, but it's the offensive end. Just don't pick up something on the defensive end.
Pick and roll with James, and from the corner, Wilkins misfires with 6.9 left. A frustrating half for the Sacramento Kings. Stojakovic picking up his second. Rashard Lewis, a pair. Remember, they put him in for the offense here with 6.9 to go. Nate actually would like to substitute for him and get him out because he's in there with 3 fouls, but he's the shooter. But I'm sure they've reminded him, you know, nothing but air between you and the offensive player.
Well, I guarantee you, whoever he picks up, that's who I would get the ball to, and I'd drive right to the rim.
Absolutely.
Right to the rim.
As somebody from the bench just yelled, no foul, Rashard, no foul. Final 3 seconds. Mobley, Bibby at the buzzer, and waved off. I have to forget if you're Rick Adelman and the Sacramento Kings. And Adelman working on a technical at the end of the half. He is still barking. He is still unhappy, saying that he was pushed in the corner, and now he turns and goes to the locker room. Ray Allen with 19 points leads Seattle, and Sacramento will attempt to regroup, trailing by 15. They were up by 18. Sacramento must do something about 2 numbers. Ray Allen is torching them. He's hitting 50% from the field, 6 of 12. He's already scored 19 points, 2 coming off that steal. And at the other end, Mike Bibby, their floor leader, is 0 for 9. He's missed both of his 3-point attempts, but he does have 1 free throw. So if there's anything that Sacramento must turn around, those 2 numbers that we just spoke of, reflected right there on your screen. And Tommy T, easier said than done in the Allen case, defending, but I would expect Mike Bibby to really come on much stronger here in a second. Being an old Wildcat, I know that you agree with that.
Well, not only Mike Bibby, when you factor in Mike Bibby, Keno Mobley, and Bobby Jackson, their guards are 3 for 20. 3 for 20. Someone has to start making some shots. They've done a great job. 16 offensive rebounds. Of course, they've missed 33 shots. Believe this. Just about 50% of the shots that have been missed in this game have been offensive rebounds. No one can clear the puck in this game. It's unbelievable.
Well, you know, Sacramento with 16 of those offensive rebounds.
Yes.
But yet they only have 11 second chance points. They had an opportunity for 32 points off those rebounds, and they converted only 11.
Well, another thing, too, that Seattle's done a great job of, keeping the free throw line 18 times. You said they're number 3 in the NBA in shooting free throws or field goal percentage. And you look at the percentages here. Seattle, that's scary. The offensive rebounds, they're only shooting 44%, yet you're up 15. And backcourt scoring 29-7, as we pointed out, the shooting woes of the Sacramento Kings. You have to think. Now, give Seattle credit. They played some good defense. A lot of those shots were under duress, but a lot of those shots were open shots that they just missed.
So lopsided Saturday continues, and we'll see if the Kings can do something about it right here. Dallas made a bit of a stand in the second half, cut it, I believe, to 4 against Houston before they spit the bit and lost at home. Now Rashard Lewis turning on Asia and Rainey, too. What a sweet wingman he is.
He is so versatile, inside, outside. I mean, he's really much better on the post this year. He got a lot of moves.
Oh, man. Thomas just powered into him. Evans draws the charge on the turnover. It'll be Sonics ball, and they're off to a positive start with 4 fouls on Kenny Thomas. Thomas, of course, one of those players who came to Adelman's Kings. They made 2 huge trades during the regular season, sending Chris Webber to Philly, and they got Kenny Thomas, Corliss Williamson, and Brian Skinner. They sent Doug Christie earlier back in January to Orlando and got Keno Mobley in return. Now here are the Sonics. Ray Allen, the free agent to be. He goes over Mobley, and James could not ram the miss home, but there is Evans with another offensive rebound. Lewis off the 1 dribble. There's James, offensive rebound, battle, knocked out of bounds. Seattle ball.
Well, didn't we say at the start of the game the first team to 30 offensive rebounds wins? I mean, that's where we're headed. 16! And that is disappointing when you get 16 offensive rebounds and you are down 15 points. That kills.
Evans and James, 18 combined rebounds. By comparison, the Pistons had only 12 offensive rebounds in their win today. The Rockets had 11, and in the win by the Celtics, it looks like they dominated the glass, but they had only 4 offensive rebounds. So this is a big number being put up in this game.
Oh, jeez.
Allen, put back by James. Another offensive rebound and 2 more second chance points, but for the Sonics, who lead it by 19, their biggest margin of the game.
Not often you can go 1 for 3 on putback dunk attempts. That's exactly what he just did.
Knocked away into Thomas's hands.
Got to make those shots right there.
And he drains the 2.
You get open shots, those are the ones you got to start putting down if you want to stay in this game. And maybe boxing out, too.
Lewis picked up underneath. And here's Evans.
Well, it's all starting with the initial defense. I mean, the big guys are having to come over and help. It takes you out of position rebounding-wise.
Ridnour and Bibby bump into each other, and the foul is against Ridnour.
Watch this right here. Just I mean, you could bust an ACL on that type of move. And look at that. I mean, that's really not Skinner's fault. Skinner has to come over and help on Ray Allen. And that actually started the pick because the guy who was guarding Ray Allen shouldn't have been guarding him in the first place.
Bad pass. Ridnour coming in on Bibby, who blocked it. Evans is there to take it away. Out of bounds, Sacramento. So Bibby with a good defensive play that time against Luke Ridnour. But the Kings unable to sustain any offense. Knocked away. Hit by Seattle. Sacramento ball. Garrettson right there on top of it. Said Allen had knocked it into the backcourt. Mobley up on James' corner at the buzzer. Air ball. Shot clock violation. Seattle ball. Bibby is now 0 for 10.
Those are the kind of shots you love. You're 0 for 9 and somebody just hands you the ball with 0.5 seconds left. Go ahead. Break out of it this way. Thanks. But they have to do a better job of keeping guys in front of them. Right now, they're getting broken down on the perimeter right now. And that's why everything's opening up after that.
Sweet Ray Allen. There's their biggest lead of the game as it swells to 21. Bibby missing again. That'll rebound. Allen comes away off of the James. Play underneath. Tapped out by Mobley. It'll be Seattle basketball with 20 on the shot clock.
Well, that was a shot under duress. I mean, Luke Ridnour did a pretty good job of getting a hand in the face on that shot. I think if you're Mike Bibby, try desperately and get to the free throw line, draw some contact, because it's the outside jumper from 17 to 20, or I guess anything inside of 25 actually isn't going.
James about halfway down. It's spun out. Bibby puts it down on Ridnour. Open underneath the Skinner. Blocked by James. So James with 4 block shots in this game tonight. Ridnour. Slang. Here's Bibby.
Seattle's doing a good job, too, at defensive transition. They're not giving Sacramento anything easy.
There's number 6. Wow. To make it 5, let me correct myself. James with 2 quick blocks.
I was going to give him 2 for that one. Look at this. Yeah! I haven't invoked the name of Karch Karai in quite some time, but that was a spike. And Mike Bibby on the board.
Yes.
With his first field goal.
7.5 minutes to go here in the third. Maybe that'll get Bibby started. Evans holds the ball outside. Back to James. Playing as well as I've ever seen him play. Over Skinner. No. And it'll go over. Loose ball foul. And Evans comes up limping. The foul is on him, and he's limping big time. He'll try to run through it. Nate says, "Are you all right?" And Radmanovic quickly up. They'll take Reggie out.
Right at him from Kenny Thomas.
Stojakovic pulls the trigger. .655. Evans lurking on the baseline. Allen gives it to Lewis. They quickly double him and they shoot it to Ridnour. James on the turnaround jump shot off the mark. Here's Rashard Lewis missing. James digs out another offensive rebound. And the crowd applauding this young man's effort as Radmanovic replaces Evans.
Well, it's like
Evans now said, I'm okay. I want to stay in. Evans said, what are you taking me out for? He'll go figure.
Is it just me, or does it look like we're watching the junior varsity right now? Because they just throw it up there and go get it. It looks like, I mean, Sacramento, even when they secure a defensive rebound, tenuous at best. And Jerome James, 11 and 12, now 12 and 12, and Jerome James and Evans, 22 total rebounds between him, and Jerome James also with 5 block shots. I mean, he's had a wonderful all-around game for the Supersonics. Tell you what, if he can play like this consistently, I don't know if that's possible, but if you get even this type of productivity in the playoffs, wow.
Tommy, at the next opportunity, look over there and see if you see Brad Miller for me on the thing. Misfired by Bibby. I took a quick look.
No.
And I don't see him.
He's not there.
He played 4 minutes.
Unless he's wearing a Greg Ostertag mask.
Is he back in the tunnel? I see him standing way back. He's on the bicycle.
That's bike, yeah.
I was thinking about him because of how James is just beating them up down in that low block, and I can see how badly they miss him. He's pedaling away. Came back from the broken leg tonight and played 4 minutes. Now, Adelman, of course, is going to send Sangaila back in the game, but a decision to make. He'll try Ostertag against James as Allen misfires, and here's Stojakovic searching for matchups down the road. The one thing you have to remember about these blowouts the fact that the coaches make all of these adjustments during the course of a 7-game series. Nice drive by Mobley.
That's only a 15-point game. I mean, Sacramento, with the offensive firepower, poorly as they've played, could get back into this rather quickly.
So they'll try it with Ostertag on the floor when you come back to Seattle.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Volvo. Volvo for life. NikeBasketball.com, and McDonald's.
Well, a reminder that tomorrow on ABC, it'll be New Jersey at Miami, Game 1. That's at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Then TNT will follow with the triple-header. Washington at Chicago, Denver at San Antonio, Memphis at Phoenix. They'll follow up with a double dip on Monday. Indiana at Boston, Houston at Dallas. So the NBA playoffs rocking and rolling. And Luke Ridnour brings it down with Allen. Dick Collison is on the floor. Rashard Lewis and Radmanovich. That's your Sonic 5 right now. We come down to the 5-minute mark of the third quarter. Lewis on the fadeaway. It rattles in, and it's 67-50. The Sonics once led it by 21, and Seattle ended a drought of 8 misses in a row with that field goal. Stojakovic. The 3 is good, and Peja's 4th 3 of the night. He's 4 of 7 from three-point range. 20 points for Peja, leading the way for Sacramento here, and it's 67-53. Lewis off the iron. Allen runs it down. Good anticipation by Ray. He saw that shot was going to be short and hard off the rim. This time, Rashard does not miss. High off the rim, and that's 7. I checked that. That's a 14 for Rashard Lewis. I was looking at Reggie Evans, who has 5.
We talk about his versatility. He post up, shoot over you, get outside, dribble by you. And he really can do it. I mean, he loves that left block, but he can also shoot the 3, put it on the ground, get to the rim. And that's what's made him the All-Star this year, is that not only his versatility, but he brings it every single night, and he's been consistent throughout the year.
Radmanovich in low to Collison, and Collison is blocked underneath. Sangaila there. Mobley hits Sangaila beautifully underneath, and the foul is going to be on Collison.
Oh, check out the versatility right here. Peja Stojakovic guarding him. Boom. He gets his space. Look at the space he creates right there just by backing into him. And then Sangaila, the bigger guy, comes out and guards him. Goes right by him. Gets Ostertag up off his feet. A nice little kiss shot.
Ostertag pops way out. Now puts it in Mobley's hands. Sacramento looking to sustain a run. This will be up to Ostertag, and he taps it back in. And offensive rebounds for Sacramento. That should be 17 for him in this game. And at the other end, 17 or 18 for Seattle. I've lost count. And there's Ostertag with a defensive rebound. So if the big fella can stay with it, he's providing them a big body down low off the bench. First playing time now on a runner. So Greg Ostertag, 2 field goals in a row. The crowd wanted traveling, but Ostertag appeared to hit that legally. This looks a little strange when you get a Greg Ostertag coming down the lane.
Why are they going over to double and then running away?
Lewis muscled up, gets it deep to Radmanovic, and Radmanovic is fouled by Bibby. Bibby fouls Radmanovic. Fortson checks in. As Nate McMillan says, you've got an Ostertag and I got a Fortson. So 2 of the big bodies are about to start banging in Emerald City. 69-57 timeout. Sacramento has never led in this game. They're down a dozen right now. 69-57 late in the third quarter. And you know, this past September, Ray Allen unveiled his Assist with Algebra program. That's a new middle school program for the students and parents at the Madrona K-8 school and the Meany Middle School. It's a push to raise algebra test scores for students, particularly those in the African American community. And Ray Allen, mathematics are good here tonight, folks. He's hit 7 field goals, 2 of them threes, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, and the algebra adds up to 21 for Ray right now, with a dozen points ahead of Sacramento, 226. But as Tommy has pointed out, we see Brad Miller's off the bike. He is on the floor right now, and he comes up with that loose ball. So Ostertag and Miller together. Adamman will take a look at 2 bigs out here to see what he can do. Fortson, Radmanovic, and Collison on the floor. These matchups will be important to the coach as he looks at the tape over and over following game 1, regardless of what happens. Is that Miller steps out. He's a good outside shooter. The Kings are on a 17-6 run for Adam. And Tommy, you've been saying all along this game's not over.
No, and it's defense. Seattle's 6 for 24 this quarter. I mean, Sacramento's getting into them, making them take tougher shots. And when they kept him off the glass, they've been able to get out and try to explore. And they haven't scored a lot this quarter. I mean, only 19 with a minute 44 left. But it's been their defense that's got them back into this game.
Fouls on Ostertag, sending Fortson up to the free throw line. Fortson played a handful of minutes in the first half. This is his first trip to the free throw line, with Seattle up by 10.
Danny Fortson could be the beefiest 88% free throw shooter. Maybe 87 now.
87.
I'm going to get the calculator out just to make sure. That's amazing. He shot 88% from the free throw line this year. You wouldn't think of a guy that's as physical as he is and as big as he is shooting 88% from the line.
You know, Jack Sikma over there on the bench was a great free throw shooter for Lenny Wilkins here on that championship team. He hit about 80%.
Yeah.
Throughout his career, there's Jack.
Too, that ball almost touched the back of his spine when he shot that ball.
Miller steps out high. Stojakovic open, yes, drains it. Radmanovic got rubbed and couldn't get there in time. And it's single digits right now. The Sonics once up by 21. The Kings digging in. Fortson rubs for Allen and couldn't drain it. Brad Miller screens off. Defensive rebound. Pass up the floor to Bobby Jackson, who's trying to get it going. Lost it, but it was hit by the Sonics, even though Daniels is protesting. A 19-7 run pushes the Kings right back into the thick of it late here in the third quarter. The home crowd grows just a little uneasy. Miller on the drive and one. Brad Miller making a difference. He bicycled his way in.
Well, this all started on the defensive end, and Brad Miller getting the angle on Collison, going up. Nice finish with the left hand, but they struggled as well.
There's Joe and Gavin Maloof. They flew up from Las Vegas. There's a story out of Las Vegas And it involves the NBA. They are possibly going to be the host of the 1907 All-Star Game. The Maloofs are behind it. Not one owner objected in the owners' meeting, and the commissioner doesn't object either. Folks, there's 130,000 hotel rooms in Vegas. Thomas and Mack Center invites them to come on out and have an all-star weekend out there. Wouldn't that be something? Into the corner now.
Got to get out of the way. Got a mismatch there.
Jackson firing off iron. Ostertag took it away from Alan Radmanovich, and a timeout is called as he was doubled. Sacramento has made 10 of its last 15 shots to pull within 6 points of Seattle. Once the Supersonics led this game by 21. But the Kings are surging. And remember, Mike Bibby is only 1 of 13. The Maloofs saying, just wait till he heats up, buddy. We'll be in. The Kings' 22-7 run over the last 6 minutes looks like this. They've made 10 of their last 15 from the floor, while Seattle has missed 13 of their last 50. And the numbers tell the story. There's a lady keeping up with it for their scorebook. You don't see too many scorebooks at NBA games,
no.
Not like baseball.
No. Well, they did a real nice job on Ray Allen this quarter, forcing him to shoot 1 for 7. He has had some open look shots that he was making in the first half, just not going down. And they haven't been able to get to the free throw line as much as they did in the first half.
Adelman staying big. Ostertag and Miller are still on the floor. Mobley into Radmanovich's hands. McMillan sticking with this lineup. Daniels drives toward the paint and turned it over. Kings will come back. A turnaround here in the third quarter in the Emerald City. So you all come back because we're going to have a great fourth quarter in this one.
And that is the end of the third
The third quarter statistics highlight the story we've been telling you about as the Kings blaze away from the field. 24-15. They outscore the Sonics. The Sonics led a 21 lead. And our Gatorade cooler talk. Well, I think it'll be Jerome James here. Tolbert.
Oh, he's one of those, we talked about X factors earlier on in the show. He's one of those guys coming into this game you didn't expect 13 and 13 from. 13 points, 13 rebounds, 7 of those rebounds offensively, and maybe more importantly on the defensive end, 5 big block shots. He has certainly been a factor tonight on both ends of the court. They're going to need 13, 13, and 5.
And he'll start the money quarter on the bench. Away from the ball. The foul goes against Seattle to open the fourth quarter.
That's a veteran play right there. Guy impedes progress. Throw the hands up, jerk the head back a little bit, do it twice, you get your call.
And it's the fourth on Nick Collison. So Collison trying to defend Ostertag. Mobley misfiring. Ostertag with an offensive rebound takes it out. Greg Ostertag has been a factor since he has come in off Adelman's bench. Jackson up with a jump shot. No. Ostertag pushed out of the way, and they get away with it.
Yeah, they could have called that one a foul easily. He already has 3 offensive rebounds and only played 6 minutes in the game.
Daniels forced to keep it at the perimeter. Now Fortson rubs for him. The jump shot off iron. Seattle with an offensive rebound.
How many times you said that tonight?
All night long.
About 37 times.
It's a record.
Well, they're going to go to see if they come over and double. Here comes Brad Miller.
Double on Richard. Ridnour gives it to Fortson. Fortson on the inside. 72-64 Seattle.
Now that's an important part of the game for Sacramento. You worked hard. You got back within 6. Crowd's going nuts. Turn it over. I mean, it's always important. You're on the road. You're down 20. You come firing back, 21 to be precise. You get to within 6 points. It is key to stay there. Don't let them score 3 straight possessions and make it a 10, 11, 12-point game. You can see nice pass, left-handed pass by Ridnour. Fortson, I don't know what it means, but it doesn't mean finesse. He goes right into him and gets a bucket.
That's a dozen turnovers, and I'm wondering just a little bit about Bibby's injured ankle. He's still on the bench, and Eddie House now checks in. Of course, Adelman has had great success here tonight, reaching deep on that bench. Remember now, Greg Ostertag has contributed, and now it'll be Eddie House. You'll see if he gets any game out of number 50 out here.
One thing about Eddie House, he's not shy, and he's a guy that can heat up in a hurry.
Seattle forced to inbound it deep. 8, shot clock down toward 5. Ridnour on a runner working against the shot clock. Ostertag rebounds again. He and Miller are the bigs. Jackson forced to pick his dribble up. Ostertag underneath finishes. And Greg Ostertag now off of the Adelman bench. 11 of their last 13 points scored by Miller and Ostertag. So the two bigs are doing the job. Rashard Lewis from the perimeter rattles out into Miller's hands. The role players in the NBA. In deep, Peja took it over the top on the pass, and it's 72-68. It is a 4-point lead. Nate McMillan's team wants up by 21. Tom, this is a 26-9 run here.
Well, Bobby Jackson didn't know where he's going with it. Ostertag just makes himself available, and on the next play, this is nice. His eye contact. Peja knew he had him on his back. Brad Miller just threw it up. Easy deuce, and a 4-point Seattle lead.
ESPN's presentation of the NBA playoffs, brought to you by Chevy and American Revolution, supercharged for 2005. Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And new metered release Aerometrics for long-lasting auto fragrance that's never out of control.
Folks, if you haven't experienced baseball in high definition starting tomorrow, you'll have your chance. Over the next 4 days, there'll be 5 games on ESPN HD and ESPN2 HD. See all of them. And contact your cable or satellite provider and tell them you want ESPN HD and ESPN2 HD. You can't live without it. Ray Allen has missed 7 of his last 8 shots as he has cooled off. Seattle 3 of 19. And the lead dwindles to 4. James back on the floor. Evans is here. Ridnour. Lewis, and the foul is on House. House for Sacramento. Ostertag stays out there. Brad Miller sits down. Kenny Thomas returns. Jackson and Stojakovic. Those are the lineups on the floor with 9:20 to go here in the money quarter.
You're talking about a Seattle team that's only 14 of 49 since the first quarter. So Sacramento has done a pretty respectable defensive job since the second quarter and been pretty downright dominant since halftime.
Allen has to give it up. James is open. Rattles out. Ostertag yanks down still another rebound. 6 rebounds for him. He's 3 of 3 from the field, and he's only played 7+ minutes. House up with the jump shot short into James' hands.
That's not exactly what you want there. You'd like to move the ball, make the defense change sides, instead of just dribbling it down yourself and taking a quick shot.
Sure that the name Bibby is going through Adelman's mind. What's he going to do with him over there on the sideline? He continues to sit. He's only 1 of 13. In fairness to Mike Bibby, Luke Ridnour, as Allen brings a big 3. I was going to say, in fairness to him, Luke Ridnour, his point guard counterpoint, is 0 for 6 from the field. And he hasn't scored at all here tonight. Jackson picks the dribble up. Thomas with a tough shot, rattles in. 75-70 and 8 minutes to go in regulation. Adelman and McMillan both up.
Well, you're going to see work on the left side of the court here. They got Allen and Lewis on the left side of the court. Just get it to your 2 best players. They're posted by Allen this time.
Jackson bumps again. Allen rattles. Stojakovic. James got it. Yes. The lead is 7. 77-70. The 15th rebound for Jerome James in this game. Stojakovic puts it down, cut off at the free throw line, jump shot. Not going to rattle in. Seattle clears. Here's Allen. Turns it over.
See if they can get some in transition here. Watch for Page spotting up.
Jackson will take it himself. Rattles out. House with a huge offensive rebound and a fresh 24 for the Kings. James reaches out on Jackson. Down to 10 on the shot. Jackson off the dribble. Loses it. Out of bounds. With 7 on the shot. Kings basketball. Bibby returns. Mike Bibby.
Well, you see Ostertag right there. That's what caused it. Ostertag had to go over and double team, and that leaves you rebounding options right there. And Kenny Thomas was actually in pretty good position. He was just, not as big as Jerome James. Mike Bibby back in the lineup for the Sacramento Kings.
Antonio Daniels checks in quickly off the Seattle bench. He'll work against him. So Ridnour sits down. Cuttino Mobley is up. He'll be checking in at the next opportunity for the Kings.
Let's see if they get Rashard Lewis down on the left block there.
They feed Lewis. Stojakovic is there. Got his hands full. Bad pass. Turnover. Sacramento basketball. And Mobley gives Jackson a breather.
But I tell you what they have to be careful of. They're getting the ball down to Rashard Lewis on the left block. Ostertag's coming over to double team and then leaving immediately. I think they're just trying to disrupt the play. But you got to be careful. If the big guy goes and you still have your dribble left, you can get to the middle of that court for a pretty easy shot.
Daniels taking Bibby. Thomas being defended by Evans. Here's Bibby. Daniels is rubbed. Evans switches. Bibby turns it over. Bad pass knocked away by Mobley and out of bounds. It'll be Seattle basketball. We've got a timeout. 5:52. Seattle's lead is 7. But once it was a 21-point difference. 77-70. The Supersonics leading the Kings here in the fourth quarter. Brad Miller, one of the productive ones here in the second half for Sacramento. And Tom, our Chevrolet game track.
Both teams with 19 offensive rebounds. I believe we've added one to both teams since our last tally. We both have 20 offensive rebounds for 40. Ray Allen was fantastic in the first half. Sacramento's done a much better job of guarding him in the second. Mike Bibby just unable to get off of this game. 3 points, 1 for 13 from the field.
5:52 left in regulation. The Kings have never led. The Sonics at one time led it by 21. And with the great players like Bibby, it's just a matter of time before they explode. Thomas on the floor with him, along with Mobley, Stojakovic, and Ostertag, who's had an extremely productive 11-minute night. 6 points and 6 rebounds in 11 minutes off of Rick Adelman's bench. Then one of the difference makers in this game. Here's Lewis turning to go over Mobley. Mobley lacks size. Adelman will have to do something about that. They're going to have to hit him with a quick double team because Mobley cannot handle it.
Well, that's what happens when Allen and Rashard Lewis come together. You switch off, Mobley gets stuck guarding Lewis, and he can just turn and shoot right over him.
Stojakovic got Rashard in the air, got Ostertag underneath, and a foul is called.
You can see right there, this Mobley not big enough. I mean, that looks like a tough shot, but when you look up, there are no arms in your way. That's a clean look, and that's his shot. He's going to put that down most of the time. Very efficient tonight, 18 points and only 12 field goal attempts.
Non-shooting foul, 12 on the shot. Stojakovic around Ostertag.
Oh, got to get out of his way.
Over James. That's not a good shot. Air ball.
Well, Ostertag's got to clear out and go to the weak side and let Stojakovic have James one-on-one or force them to double team and then find the open man.
James bumps Ostertag, comes up on him, no. Rebound Mobley. 79-70. Every trip important now for the Kings. Bibby's three, no. Battle for the rebound, and there's going to be a foul, and it's going to go against Seattle. Evans was pushing on that side. That's his 4th personal foul, Reggie Evans. Out of bounds sideline still. Into Mobley's hands with 20 on the shot. Tries to break Allen down off the dribble. Double team, yes, and one. Tossed it up, and look what I've got.
Well, you don't see that very often from Tino Mobley. Usually he goes left. He's going to get it up there left. But a nice spin move, and then jumping in to Jerome James, who, if he would have just stayed straight up, it'd have been fine. But once you lower that arm down, run into the body, moving a little bit, that is just an incredible move. Like Tino Mobley has a chance to cut it to 6.
Couldn't do it. Evans over to save it, puts it in Thomas's hands. Back to Mobley. Blocked by Ray Allen. Tap back to Bibby. The three off iron into Ray Allen's hands. There was plenty of time on the shot clock.
Well, it's just one of those nights. And then after a while, you just start thinking about it. You know you've only made one field goal, and you start putting a little more pressure on yourself to make shots. Those are the shots you want to take.
Anders on a beautiful runner. It's a 9-point Seattle lead. Inside of 4 here in game 1, best of 7. Mobley pulls it up on Evans, kisses it off the glass.
Well, he's the guy right now. I mean, they're not even getting any offensive sets. It's getting to him. Send a little pick for him up high, and then letting him work one-on-one.
But at this end, Adelman and the Kings need a stop. Mobley wants help. Allen comes in. Ostertag gets there late. Mobley wants Allen to go to his left, and then he wants help. And Ostertag coming in late on it, fouled Ray Allen, putting him on the free throw line. But Mobley turned him loose without anybody there to help.
Well, just because you want someone to go some way doesn't mean you don't open up the toll road. I mean, you still have to put a little bit of pressure on him. And that right there, Ray Allen, that was a layup line. And you're going to see right here, I mean, he's expecting help, but you still got to slide down just a little bit and don't let him have the direct path to the basket.
It's going to cost him, too, if Ray knocks this one down. It does. 9 points the lead. And now the trips are crucial for Sacramento. Stojakovic off a screen. Gets it back, turns it over as Lewis did a great job defending him. Did not give him an open shot.
Well, he is long, and he can be behind you trailing the play. And all of a sudden that length comes into play, and you realize what would look like a clean shot, you get a hand in your face now.
Now the switch. Now Lewis has got Mobley again on him. Kick it back. Daniels on the run to the paint. And they turn it over. 2:53, so Sacramento survives that trip. But can they do anything about it? They haven't been tied, and they've never led. Or Seattle trying to hang on here with 2:53 to go. Coming up next now, a reminder, ESPN Sports Center. There is some of your stories. They'll tell you all about the first day at the NFL draft. Alex Smith of Utah started it off, went to the San Francisco 49ers, #1. And how about Maurice Perret, drafted on the first day? About a week ago, we covered a game down in Los Angeles, and Maurice Perret was out running on the sidewalk. And obviously, he's impressed the Denver Broncos. They'll have that story, and they'll fill in whether or not Shaquille O'Neal can go for Miami tomorrow in Game 1 against the New Jersey Nets. Here it's Game 1, 3-6 out west. Seattle trying to hang on with a home court advantage. They're up 83-74. Sacramento closed to within 4, and that young man, he couldn't even watch. But then the Kings went 3 for 10 with 2 turnovers, and now it's 83-74. And foul goes against Seattle. Evans, that's number 5 on Reggie.
Well, down 9 with 2:44 left. You see right there, Sacramento missed 7 out of the last 10. You don't have to be extremely quick with what you're going to do. 2:44, if you can get both of these free throws, you can cut it to 7. You're still right there, and you can still execute offensively comfortably. You have to get some stops. You have to understand that the 2 guys you're going to have to stop are Allen and Lewis. And the one thing they need to get under control, I shouldn't say get under control, they've done a decent job with it, but know that they're going to try to get to Lewis on that low block.
The announcement was not correct. That's only the 4th team foul. So not shooting. And they straightened that out. Nate McMillan was up. And Rick Adelman asking about this corner situation down here. He wants to double check now to see what that number is. He obviously trying to get his team on that free throw line right now. There has been a disparity at the line. Sacramento shot only 9 and Seattle shot 24. Seattle has made 19 of 24. And now it is 5 and alert. Sacramento coach quickly up to remind them that down in the other corner on that previous trip there was a foul. And Thomas puts one up on the board for Sacramento. So credit Rick Adelman and that bench over there for keeping good records and alerting them right away. And the scores corrected themselves. So it's 83-75. And here comes Kenny Thomas with his second free throw. Not there. Evans yanks it away. It's an 8-point differential. 2.5 minutes. Bibby takes Daniels, looks for a screener, 10 on the shot. Here's Lewis. Stojakovic, Ostertag cheating to help. Lewis fades baseline, air ball, James, Evans underneath. No, Lewis, no. And a foul is called on Lewis. Or is it going to be on Evans? Hold on now. Who's this on? It's important. It's on Lewis. It was Lewis up over the back for a moment. Evans thought it was going to be on him, but it's number 4 on Lewis.
Well, that's the one thing I've seen tonight with Reggie Evans and Jerome James. Tremendous offensive rebounds. Not very good finishing around the basket. Very inconsistent. A lot of times they'll grab those offensive rebounds and not be able to put them back. Kenny Thomas back at the free throw line where he's 1 for 2 last trip down the court. Those are killers.
This is that. He's missed 2 in a row. It would have him right back in the thick of this. You mentioned James and Evans, 15 rebounds apiece, Tommy.
Got to be able to finish a little more efficiently underneath the basket. I mean, if you're not going to finish, just grab the offensive rebounds, get it back out, and get it one of the offensive players in the squad.
83-76. Closing minutes. What wound up being a good game 1 out here between Seattle and Sacramento. Allen up firing off the iron, gets his own miss.
Both coaches are going to have a field day talking to their teams about the need to block out, the need to not give up extra shots. It is unbelievable the amount of offensive rebounds we've seen here tonight.
Which, of course, means we've had some bad shooting.
Yes, it does.
Daniels misses again. And the battle on the floor is Thomas, and he objects to the contact. And quickly the officials jump in. Evans had rolled on him a little bit there in the corner. And the officials quickly step in. Sacramento will take a 20. Watch the contact underneath. It has been a tough game.
Well, the faint of heart need not apply. I don't know whoever said basketball wasn't a contact sport, but they were wrong. Everybody watched the draft today, didn't they? The dive on it. Give me the rock. It's mine. I know Ray Allen was saying, didn't he travel?
That's what I
said. He called that timeout?
That's what I just thought to myself. The official should have called traveling.
No, he only went 3 or 4 feet.
That would have prevented Reggie from diving on him if the whistle had blown early.
Oh, I'm not so sure. Reggie's pretty physical. He might have dove on him anyway.
The Kings with 1 timeout left, and Sacramento 2 plus a 20. So Sacramento in good shape, but the Kings are down to the last one. Sports Center coming up. They'll have highlights of Detroit winning against Philly, Houston upsetting Dallas, and Boston routing Indiana. A 39-11 second quarter for the Celtics.
Well, I think your best option here for Sacramento is Cuttino Mobley seems to have the most flow going offensively here. So it wouldn't surprise me to see the ball in Cuttino Mobley's hands. Maybe get him a pick, let him work off that pick, and then maybe see if he can hit Bibby or Stojakovic spotting up.
Down 7, minute and a half. Kings searching for points. Mobley on the drive is fouled. He's on the free throw line. He'll shoot a pair, and he goes down hard. So Cuttino Mobley, acquired from Orlando in January, steps up to that free throw line. Attempting to pull him to within 5. Critical time for the Sonics, and Sasquatch leaves the drums and runs back there with a rather large friction.
Only encouraging him.
And the Kings have left 3 big points on this free throw line. They've missed 3 of their last 4 and make it 3 of their last 5. So it's 83-77. It's a 6. It's 133. Plenty of time. The Sonics now have to look for Lewis or Ray Allen. Daniels is running the point. Ridnour tonight did not do anything. He was scoreless. And a foul on Sacramento.
That was a foul that was drawn by Antonio Daniels. That was one of those situations where you get the ball and you see Ostertag coming over. Now watch him jump into him. He's not so concerned about making the shot. It's let me get to the free throw line. That was let me get to the free throw line, and then if I can make the shot, that's a bonus. But first and foremost, let me draw the foul.
Well, why not? He's 6 of 6 from the line tonight. Misses for the first time. He was their leading free throw shooter. Ray Allen 7 of 8. And Daniels had been perfect until that miss. And the Kings looking for small favors right here. Trailing at 83-77, a minute 21 to go. He missed both of them after going 6 of 6. An opportunity for the Kings. Can they cash in? Mobley, and he whittles 2 away. 1:08 to go. 83-79. The best ending of the day is in the last game of the day.
Well, you got to have the ball in Ray Allen's hands. They do. Jerome James going to come up and give him a little pick and see if he can get all the way to the bucket or maybe pull up.
Ray Allen's 3, not there. Battle rebound. Bibby's got it on the dribble. Allen tries to draw the foul. Couldn't get it. Up the court. Here's Mobley. Fires a 3. Yes! Cuttino Mobley makes it a 1-point game, and the Maloofs celebrate here in the Emerald City. Sacramento, once down by 21 points, has made it a 1-point game. And Mobley with 10 of his 22 points. I'll probably have to paint the rims before Tuesday. One team shooting 40 and the other 35. However, you will not find Cuttino Mobley missing here in crunch time, Tommy.
Oh, he was the guy that had the flow going, so they started getting him the ball on the little pick, and right there, they finally get out in the open court, transition, pull up for a 3. I know we use the term, they stole a game way too often. If they win this game, this will be grand theft.
The Sonics, without a point, their last 5 trips in this game. Trying to end a drought with Daniels running the floor. Lewis picks his dribble up. Thomas on him. Daniels on a cut. Tries to get it to James. Yes. 1 for their last 6 trips. A big field goal. It's a 3-point lead. 25 seconds. 25. Now, what do the coaches do in this situation? How much time can Adelman afford to let Seattle run off the clock right now? Seattle can take it down to virtually the end of the game. So the brain trust for Sacramento, they've got to be talking about how quickly do we foul in this sequence if they don't put it up. Because 24 can virtually run the timeout here. It's 85-82. So that will be the strategy that Rick Adelman must come up with. The burden is on him in this particular situation because of the score and the time.
Well, you got to do it quick. You can't wait until the end, because if you wait until the end, then they have the option, Seattle has the option of fouling you. And so you have to go quick. You don't need a 3. 25 seconds is more than enough time. The problem you run into is they're a good free throw shooting team. You're going to have to foul a good free throw shooter and put him on the line. Ideally in this situation, I think you go to Mobley again. You set that pick for him, let him penetrate, and if he can get a shot off, get it off. You don't have to take a 3, but if a 3 becomes available, then you go ahead and take it. But do not force a 3, and then whatever happens, you foul immediately.
Sacramento's hit only 5 of 21 3-point baskets. If you're wondering, after that timeout, it'll be out of bounds sideline for the Kings.
To the basket. Stojakovic brings it in bounds to Bibby. He'll march over here to Mobley and hand off beyond the 3-point perimeter. Ostertag screens. Mobley for the tie. 3 is up off the front rim. Volleyed outside by Thomas. Grabbed in midcourt by Stojakovic to Bibby for 3 in the tie. Air ball. Threw it out of bounds. Sonic basketball with 9 seconds remaining, leading 85-82, and the Sonics call a timeout.
Well, hey, Mike Bibby's been a hero in Sacramento a lot of times. He's knocked down a lot of shots for the Kings. That one was just a step out of his range. I think he has plenty of time, but he felt like he was going to make the shot, and he took it.
85-82. Are you kidding me? These two teams want to score. On the inbounds, it's Allen fouled by Mobley. And so the Kings have to foul. They send Allen to the line with 8 and 7/10 seconds remaining in the ballgame. You have to love your chances with Ray Allen at the line, Craig. An 88% free throw shooter on the year was Ray Allen, and that ranked him 7th in the league in free throw percentage.
Well, the Sonic shot free throws good all year long, Kevin, and tonight, what, 73%? They were 79 during the season, so missed a few of them this year, but you got your money man on the line right now.
When you talk about a guy with playoff composure, Ray Allen went to the Eastern Conference Finals the last time he was in the playoffs with Milwaukee when they were beaten in a thrilling 7-game set against the Philadelphia 76ers. Allen, a career average of 24 points, 5th highest among active players in the playoffs. And he has been the man here tonight. The Sonics by 4. Here's the free throw by Ray. The Sonics by 5. 8 and 7/10 seconds remaining. Kings don't have any timeouts left. Jackson in midcourt. Play straight up defense and you win it. Jackson throws an air ball and the Sonics have won it. Allen comes down with a rebound and it is over. Game 1 is over in Seattle. The Sonics prevail in the opening salvo of the first round, 87-82, with a win over the Kings tonight, led by Ray Allen with 28 points.
Thanks a lot, KC. What a win.